Yes, people, welcome back to another video. Tonight, I've got NEFC Matt as the lovely, the talented Miss Holly Blades. Holly, good evening to you.
Evening, thanks for having us on, John.
So it's been a long while, hasn't it? Since it's been a while, been last year, hasn't it? Since Ashley sort of thing.
Yeah, the last time I was on, Mike Ashley was still here. The vibe was pretty negative, and it's nice to see that we have a big change.
It was huge, just an absolutely amazing sort of thing. I mean, it's just being confident, positive, and everyone's happy, and there's no infighting sort of thing. And it's just hey, it is what it is like. So happy fans now. So guys who do like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and also super chats up and running. And also, if you'd like to become a member, please click on join button. It's only 99p a month. So we'll crack on, and we're going to talk about the match review. We talk about transfers, who's going to come in, who's going to come out. First of all, I want to talk about the Cambridge game on Saturday, and it was absolutely shocking, wasn't it? 1-0, and we were poor. I wouldn't say poor, but
Yeah, it was a terrible game, John. Certainly something which didn't hit me by surprise. I know a few of the fans felt as though we would have easily won that game. I was never under that impression. I think the whole time for me supporting Newcastle, we've never done well in the Cups particularly. Usually went out in the first or second round. And to be honest, with all the injuries and COVID problems that we have, I don't think it's a bad thing, because I think now we can prioritise the league without the extra games.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I was hoping that we go all the way in the FA Cup, and it just hasn't happened because again, we just considered a sloppy goal. The Brackett's at fault there, and now we've gone. Now you're right. We're just going to concentrate on the league game sort of thing as well. But you've got 19 games to go, and you got to get players coming in, which are coming in. Do you think we're going to stay up this season with the 19 games left? It looks a bit tough. We can do it, but it looks a bit tough.
I would say try and probably ask me that question after the Watford game, because I think that's when we'll know. I think if we win against Watford, it's looking a lot brighter. We could be out of the relegation zone by then. It's only 2 points adrift, and that should give us the confidence to go on a bit of a run. We've got some easier fixtures coming up. If we draw or if we lose, then I think, unfortunately, we're going to very much struggle and probably go down. If I had to choose now one way or the other, I'd be inclined to say we were more likely to go down than stay up, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, it just depends how Burnley does in those two home games. And if in those two games in hand, then we could be in serious trouble. But it is for what it is. I got some comments flying through. Evening, John Holly. Hope you're well. That's from Jules from Norway. And I've got NUSC. Hey, John, hope you're well. Looking forward to this. It's going to be a cracking show on this one. If the Bracket injured, Holly, not in training picks, I mean, I didn't know this one.
I don't think we've heard anything about Dubravka's injury. Well, not to my knowledge anyway. I know he did look a little bit like he had an issue in that Cambridge game, so it could be a case of that, which I'm hoping is not, because if we've got to bring Darlow or Woodman in, I think, it's going to make the relegation fight even harder. Although Dubravka has had a bad couple of games, I still think he's miles better than the other two that sit in the reserves.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I heard a lot of people saying that he should be getting after a goalkeeper sort of thing. Do you think she's able to buy a goalkeeper? Do you think she get a new goalkeeper just to challenge Dubravka?
We should definitely get a goalkeeper at some stage, depending on how much money we have left to spare, how we're faring in the rest of the window. Then I think potentially we could leave it till the summer window, because it's probably not a priority, but definitely in the summer we need one. In January, potentially we could wait, because ultimately I feel as though we need at least another defender, a midfield player, and I'd like to see us bring another forward in, even though we have signed Chris Wood.
Yeah, totally agree. You're coming to Chris Wood later on, sort of thing. And, I mean, I know they fell on me seat when 25 million was off that sort of thing, you know what I mean? And even John Holly is now from Man United fan. And Keyston said hello to you. Got Trippier and yesterday morning Wood. And hello, John. Hello, Holly. Evening all. I hope you KJK. He's another member as well. Stats say we have a good chance to win. I hope that is the case. And Andrew D, do Scotch and channel me. Hello, lads and lasses, as well as John and Holly, by the way. And I got now just finished watching Mace's quiz on Devils United, John. We've done really well. Next, mate, tune in on Sunday. I'll be on a channel on Sunday for transfer update. Good luck on that one, by the way, and hope you win now. Good luck. John and Holly, hi to David. Any questions for Holly, do ask far away. She's absolutely switched on. She is absolutely brilliant. And Newcastle Fee, Shelby Wood, and ASM with the goals. Bianca Westwood. It's just a made up one, by the way. And just going to find this quickly. On to that sort of thing. Talk about the transfers as well. I mean, we signed Kieran Trippier and we signed Chris Wood. And 12 million and 25 million. What do you think of it?
Kieran Trippier is no worries. Kieran Trippier is a fantastic signing for Newcastle United. I think it's amazing that we managed to prize him away from Atletico Madrid. Bearing in mind he was playing regular football, even in the Champions League, to come to 19th place Newcastle is quite a step down initially. I can understand why he did, of course. It's a big project there. He's got a chance to become a real hero at the club. We did get to see him against Cambridge. Of course, it's not a fair reflection because it was League One opposition. However, Cambridge did play very well. The rest of the team played pretty poorly, whereas I felt Kieran Trippier did stand out. Not just what he was doing on the ball, but also his off the ball kind of work that he was putting in, organising the defence, shouting out orders. It's really refreshing to see. Certainly the best defender at the club now. So I think he is a brilliant signing for Newcastle.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, he's a champion of Atletico Madrid as well. He's played some good clubs as well, and Spurs and Atletico Madrid as well. And they're loving him spin, by the way. Even John Holly, I hope you're good. That's from Paul. And if I say hi as well, I've got cards to you, mate. And just 5 minutes quickly. If the Dubs send Chad, we will struggle and have to score more than the other teams. Well, you got to score goals. Scoring goals is a major problem at this moment in time. Hope you're both well, Holly and John. We're fine, Andrew. And that's a double. He's not injured. Hello, John, Holly, Carl's looking. Good, thanks very much. And we've got a West Ham supporter, James, even to you both, to the Watford fan. Sorry, battered you 4-1, but Jared Bowen is just on fire right now and couldn't help it. I was going to say on this one on Watford. We'll come to later on, and yeah, so it's going to be tough there, sort of thing. But 25 million for Chris Wood. Are you surprised at all with the price fee?
Yeah. Chris Wood for me. So I got asked a question by Steve on the Holly and Steve show a few weeks ago before we signed him. Would you be happy with bringing Chris Wood in because he was a name that was heavily linked? My initial answer was no. I felt like it was quite an underwhelming signing. More of like a championship striker. I just didn't feel as like he was going to create enough of an impact for what we need personally. Now that he's came into the club, of course, I'm going to get behind him. He has got, a Premier League kind of record. He did, of course, play for a relegation rival, which will weaken their side, which is a benefit. But 25 million, I think, is a ridiculous fee to pay for him. I think if you valued him fairly, he's probably around 4 million. To me, 25 million sends out the totally wrong signals to any other clubs, because now, if I was an agent of a player at another club that Newcastle were interested in, I'd be thinking, well, we may as well just double the price because they're just throwing money around like it's no object, If you're going to pay 25 million for Chris Wood, then what lengths would you go to? I think it sends the total wrong message about what we are as a football club and our transfer policies.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the fact is as well, they're going to watch us now thinking, oh, we got a lot of money sort of thing, you know what I mean? Look at French clubs like Lille. I mean, you put 40 million bid for Sloan Botman. I believe that deal will go through at the end of January. I really do think that. Diego Carlos as well has been mentioned as well from Sevilla. We put in, 28 million or something like that. They want between 40 and 50 million euros. Works out to be about 40 to 45 million, something like that, something crazy. But according to Sky Sports, they say it's going positively, sort of things. Things can change there. But do you know a lot about Diego Carlos? I don't think you heard of him, Holly.
No, I don't know much about Diego Carlos, unfortunately.
Fair enough. And got now here, you answered the question anyway. You're happy with Chris Wood signing and Kieran Trippier. Would you also take Botman, Ramsey, Ronaldo, and the striker in the French league, Ekitike?
So Botman, yes, I would definitely take Botman. I think he'd be a good signing. Would you mind leaving the comment on the screen for a second, just because I'll forget the names? That's all.
Yeah, sure. That's the one.
Bad memory, honestly.
That's the one.
Yeah. Ramsey, again, very happy to take him. I think he's a good player, Premier League experience. And then to people's surprise, I'd probably say no to Wijnaldum. And now I put this on Twitter a couple of weeks ago and I got a lot of stick for it because people were saying, why would you not take a Champions League winner, a proven Premier League player at Newcastle? And my answer is simply because I think he's been at the club before. He was very desperate to leave. Of course, it was difficult circumstances. We were relegated to the Championship, so I can understand. But I don't want to go back in time and bring ex-players back to the club. I want to bring in new faces. And if there's a player that's just as good as Wijnaldum but hasn't been at the club before, I would be more inclined to take that player because I just don't want to go back over. I feel like it's kind of a sign of regression. And the striker from the French league, I can't say it. Ekitike, yeah, sorry.
I forgot. I'll get problems with it as well, but never mind.
Yeah, I know when it's not a player from your club, you're just like, how do I say this name? Yeah, so him, to be honest, I think he looks like a very promising player for the future. I think he looks very talented. The fee is quite high for him. I wouldn't probably want to sign him now because I think, again, like I said, he's one for the future, not one for now. And I feel like we need a player who's Premier League proven, probably slightly older, to come in, hit the ground running and score the goals to keep us up. That player probably would do for the next few years, but it's just not the time to be bringing in future prospects right now.
Definitely not. You don't want to pin your hopes on a 19-year-old to keep us up as well, because it'll probably ruin him as well. So that's not very good as well. So, and would be a decent bit of business for Newcastle. Trippier is what you need. You need defensive improvements, and he's experienced. So we definitely need defense as well. And about the midfield, did you look at the midfield as well, Holly? I mean, I keep Joe Linton, my guy.
Yeah, the midfield is still struggling. Thankfully, Joe Linton's managed to improve a lot in that midfield role, which is great to see. I think Jonjo Shelvey's been very good since Eddie Howe came in. But Isaac Hayden, obviously he's injured at the moment, but I don't think he's been the greatest. I think he's far too defensive. He's almost like playing an extra defender on the pitch, which I feel like under Eddie Howe, he wants to play more an attacking front foot football rather than defensively. So I don't think he suits the future plans for Howe going forward. I'd be inclined to let him go. Sean Longstaff, I think he's had one or two good games, slightly better under Eddie Howe, but overall he's been very poor this season, giving the ball away far too much. And unfortunately, Joe Willock has been abysmal. I think it's fair to say. I don't think there's been one game this season where he's played well. So I think we definitely need to strengthen in the midfield, specifically in an attacking midfield sense.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, it's not Joe Willock, it's Joe. And I'm not going to say the other word anyway on here, not in front of you anyway. So I've said it plenty of times. But Joe Willock hasn't been great. Let's be honest about that. John should bring Holly onto the channel a few days a week. But she's very busy nowadays. And you're on Steve's channel now, are you? Is it nearly every day or once a week or?
Yeah, so I usually just do the once a week. I sometimes do extra things. Of course, I'm doing a little bit more shows now with Barry. I'm potentially going to be setting up my own thing this year. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm certainly happy to come on, again at some point. But I don't know about a few times a week because I am quite busy.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. And, I hope you get your channel up and running sort of thing. Make sure I'm on it as well. So
yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, I probably won't shut up though. And then, to be fair, Holly has scored 2. That's for I don't know what that means. I think it's a good sign to watch the space. I got Chloe Bayliss from Southampton fan. Yep, 25 million is a lot for Chris Wood. She's agreeing with you, by the way. I mean, I've taken, but 25 million, I'm not so sure that sort of thing. And apparently he was only fit for friendly experienced striker. That was fit and for sale. He had a release clause, by the way. I think Wood's a good sign to watch the space. Higher to Mount higher to Shearer. And people say Wood is a good sign and are deluded. Wow, that's tough.
It is tough. I can see what he's saying to an extent because I felt like it was an underwhelming signing going into it. Now that we have him, we can't fairly judge him till we've seen him play. I think it's the key thing to say. He has only scored like 3 goals this season, I believe, which on paper doesn't really look good. He has scored more in previous seasons, so I can understand the frustration from Paul there, but I think we've got to give him time. And I think he has got the potential to do well, but my worry is he'll be another Dwight Gale.
Yeah, sad. Very sad if that's the case. But, but let's hope it's not the case until we get the goals and keep us up and do well for us. But talking about Dwight Gale, I think, can you see leaving in January?
Yeah, I could see Dwight Gale leaving in January. And I think, to be honest, if he's not part of Eddie Howe's plans for the future, he needs to, because I believe he's struggling with a COVID problem at the moment. That's what we've heard anyway. But he really hasn't had a look in for years now, especially this season. And he signed a new deal, which makes no sense. I think he was unfavoured under Steve Bruce, and he's not in favour under Eddie Howe either. So it's time for him to move on. He isn't getting any younger, and he's just not getting the game time.
Yeah, he's come on 32 as well, by the way. So I think he needs to move on. Well said, Holly. I've got Devils United and Maisie. Hello, lovely John and Holly. She's a United fan. She's been on my channel a few times. Absolutely passionate, and I hope you're okay. Andrew and Ginny wasn't proud to wear the shirt first time, so you can naff off. And I think you agree with that.
Yeah, that's what I kind of alluded to earlier when I just said, he was eager to leave the last time around.
Fair enough. I'm not going to read the next comment from Dublin because I'm going to reprove it, sort of thing. So lovely lad, but it's not the horseman. John, we need to stabilise the team in this league and come summer, and we are still in Premier League. We will get better and bigger. Name players, I think, and a new keeper. Do you think you're going to get a elite player in the summer if you stay up?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I think this window is always going to be difficult because we are currently in the bottom three. A lot of players don't want to sign for a club that has a worry about relegation, because ultimately you don't want to be playing in the Championship next season. If we do stay up, then I think there's a chance to really strengthen in the summer, go on to bigger and better things. And I think we will splash the cash. And with the right recruitments, I think it's possible to finish about 10th next season.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what it is? The future is bright for Newcastle United fans, by the way. And I've got Kieran. Hello, John. Hope you're okay, Kieran. And I think we're going to get more signs for Watford. And I personally think Chris Wood is a good signing. The release clause put it off for me a little bit. 25 million. Wow. But I don't think any more players are going to come in. Do you think, Holly, more players are going to come before Watford? We think it's a bit too late.
I think it's a bit too late now. I mean, it's Thursday night. Currently, we play on Saturday, so I just think, unfortunately, there's not enough time now. But at least Chris Wood will be eligible for that game. That'll be a massive bonus for us.
Brilliant. I'll come on to that one later on, sort of thing, because that's the biggest game of the season for us as well. Yeah. And that's the game we're going to have to win. I mean, Wilson isn't scoring goals because he had no service. If this guy gets service, he will score goals. I quite believe he will. Not sure about Wood, to be honest. I'll judge him when he plays a few games. I think Wood might get a bit better if ASM learns to pass and cross more. We're going to come to ASM, by the way. He's getting a lot of stick from our fans, right? I mean, in my opinion, right, he's a damn good player, but at times he just doesn't release the ball. He hasn't got to find the ball. I mean, what's your take on him, and what does he need to do?
You know what, John? I'm so disappointed in Alan St-Maximin, especially since the arrival of Eddie Howe. Now, I made this point pretty early on, I think after Eddie Howe had 2 or 3 games in charge, and I felt as though potentially the reason why he did so well under Steve Bruce was because there wasn't a lot of discipline there. Steve Bruce didn't have them in training regularly. He wasn't a very vocal manager. He was more of a huggy manager. Rather than saying, you're not good enough, step up, he'd kind of be like, there, it'll get better. And that's not the approach I like to see personally as a manager. And I think that's why he ultimately failed at Newcastle. But then when Eddie Howe came in, it's a big change. A change in culture in the dressing room, a change in philosophy, style. And I think potentially ASM's quite a lazy player, more than we realise, and he's not happy about the amount of work he's having to put in. You see on the pitch, so selfish. It's all about him. Rather than make it a simple pass, which would benefit us because he could cross it into the box, have a shot on goal, but instead he'll do loads of trickery and skills, try and be like, look at me, I'm amazing, and then loses the ball, losing the ball far too much, not going in for 50-50 challenges, and I've just been so frustrated with him. If he continues to play how he is right now, I'd be inclined to let him go, because honestly, I think he's a luxury player who maybe at a Man City, a Chelsea, and Arsenal would do all right. But at Newcastle, we just don't need that right now. We need players that are going to graft and get the results.
Yeah, and also play for the team as well. I mean, and also get off social media as well, sort of thing. That's what he's been doing. I don't know if you've seen that. He's been going on social media a lot, and he needs to come off on that, because I'm going to start calling players out, Holly, and if they don't perform like ASM, they will get called out. And I'm sorry, but I mean, it's players like him, especially I love him. I want him to be the best in history for Newcastle United. I want him to be the best player on the pitch, but now he's not the main man because Joel Linton's the main man. And from my opinion, but he's doing well. So maybe if he follows Joe Linton's lead and follows lead, then I think he's going to be a better player. But until then, he's got a lot to learn from me. Good man, John, is just a test. Wasn't a bad name anyway. Cool. And Chloe B, Newcastle stay up. Just need to wait until you guys sign players that can make the team stay up. Chloe's a Southampton fan, right? And a manager, Ralph Hasenhüttl, right, has come out and he said that any new players comes in from Newcastle need to be banned. What's your take on that?
Ridiculous, totally ridiculous. We saw the uproar when Newcastle cancelled games because of COVID and injuries, when previously most other clubs had cancelled at least one fixture, whereas we'd been the only team that hadn't cancelled any up until that point. No one took any flack, then Newcastle did it, and all of a sudden it was the worst thing to ever happen. It was totally an overreaction from the fans and the managers, and saying things like that is just a pathetic statement to make. I mean, are you going to make that rule for every team or just Newcastle? You know, and I don't think that's the case, because ultimately, you know, things happen in football. They've had games postponed, we've had games postponed, and we just need to just play them and get on with it. They're crying on because we've spent a bit of money. Well, every team's had the chance to sign players in January. It's not our fault, and I think they need to stop just having a go at Newcastle because now we're the richest team, and it's just jealousy.
Well said, Holly. Well said. Sorry, Chloe, I had to bring your team up, by the way. And would this happen when Chelsea Man City got taken over, right? No one did but an eyelid, didn't they? No one did but an eyelid. But when it comes to Newcastle United, they got to take over now. Stop and play, you know what I mean? Body wind your necks in, man. Do you know what I mean? Just turn it in. Just get used to it. Whoever's crying, I'll get a box of tissues, right? Tell us the name of the address, and I'll send it to them, yeah?
Definitely.
No, I mean, there you go. That was a bit sarky there, wasn't it? You know that. Sheila, I think you might just get Carlos Botman and Etiquette, if I pronounce it right. We may bring new players, but we should not be let down by poor attitude of our current players. I mean, AS, do you got poor attitude on our players, Holly?
Some of them, I think, not the whole team. I think there's a few players that really try hard. In particular, I think John Joe Shelby, who I've mentioned earlier, has massively stepped up recently. I think his work ethic has been second to none, given his all every game. A few other players worth a notable mention. I think Ryan Fraser has definitely stepped up. He's always putting in the graft. Joe Linton, of course, he's been really good. We do have the players there that are trying hard. There is one or two which I feel like aren't trying. Of course, Joe Willock being a prime example of that. He's not the only one. We saw after that Cambridge game, half the players came and applauded the fans in the Gallagher end, whilst the other half walked down the tunnel. And I think that kind of tells you who's got a good attitude and who hasn't.
Well said. And you know what, Holly? I would have sacked a lot of them, sort of. I would have dropped them, just tell them to get out of the club. You know what I mean? Get the players going to come in. He will be at the club. But again, and I don't know if you saw Isaac Hayden's comment as well, saying that I'm going to have to step up. I'm going to make the new players hard to get into the team. I don't know if you heard that. I mean, I only known that last week. He's basically saying that if you want to take new players, it's going to work a lot harder. I'm not going to give it up for you. I don't know if you heard that.
But I think that's a great attitude from Isaac Hayden. That's what we want to see. We want to see the players being more competitive. We want to see them fighting to stay in the team, because far too many players pick their own place. You look at Martin Dubravka, Callum Wilson, there's no one there better to challenge them, so they know every week if they're fit, they're going to be getting game time, and you want them to be worrying a little bit, thinking, I'm going to have to keep improving, keep putting in a high work rate if I want to stay in the team. Healthy competition is fantastic within the side, and I hope Isaac Hayden does. Unfortunately for me, I don't think he's been very good this season, although he has been in and out of the team. But I'd love to see him step up along with a few other players.
Yeah, totally agree. He needs to step up. He has been great, Annie, this season. Let's be honest. 25 million now or lose 200 million if we go down. Wood will score goals. Do you think he scored the goals to keep us up? Big Chris?
I'm not so sure. I think any striker's going to find it difficult in this team. We saw Callum Wilson struggling because there wasn't the service there. And then with Callum Wilson's injury, we've been playing ESM up top, and he's definitely not a striker. That's clear for all to see. I think he has the potential to, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I'd like to see him play a few games first, and I really think it depends how he fits into the team and what kind of formation we play as well, because playing the one up top with Callum Wilson really hasn't been working. So I'd like to see us to play two up top and have a partner alongside him. Hopefully we bring another striker in to go alongside him.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like to have two up front, to be fair. I don't mind 4-2-3-1, but I like to see 4-4-2 if we got the players to do it. And I got John as well. I agree 100%, Holly. We don't need players who are not part of the team, but also who cares about the club. For years, following the tune has been frustrating, but our future is bright. Totally agree there. And the Carlos Steele, according to Sky Sports, is progressing. So things are looking on the up at the moment. I think the player wants to come, and he's going to trouble his wages as well. So I don't know what he's on at Sevilla, but he's going to get trouble his wages, probably about 80 grand a week apparently. So I mean, they're going to get huge money when they come to Newcastle now, Holly. I don't know how much Chris Wood is going to be on, but they're going to get a shed load of money if they come to us.
Yeah, they are, which can be a bit of a worry because you're thinking there's other players in the team who are already on contracts long term from when Mike Ashley was the owner. So their wages will be significantly lower than the players coming in. And then you worry about kind of upset and disruption within the dressing room because if you see one player that's playing every week getting, say, 50 grand a week and one player getting 100 grand a week, then, you know, there's a big injustice there. So I think that could potentially be a bit of an issue going forward. But you can't deny we are going to have to pay big wages to attract people to the football club because the league position certainly isn't going to attract anyone.
No, that's very true. I mean, there's a lot of people saying that. I get me bits of work saying that they're not going to come to Newcastle. It's not because of the money. It's not because they're a big club. It's where we are in the lead, in the league. Sorry, in the league. So that's obviously it's there. I've got Andrew again hitting on the bounce about ASM. I've been saying it for months and got stick for it. I mean, everyone's got an opinion though. It's no good having infighting. Everyone's got an opinion. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you make of it because I get a lot of stick on it as well.
Yeah, I think we've all had it at some stage when we have a controversial opinion. It does annoy me because I saw someone on Twitter the other day that said something about the new owners and I totally disagreed with what they said. I thought it was ridiculous, but the hate they were getting in response to that was ridiculous. And I think everyone should be entitled to an opinion. If you don't agree with it, fair enough, debate that person. But there's a way to debate someone without being disrespectful and just being polite about things, you know?
Absolutely, totally agree. And yeah, that's Andrew. Andrew, please do subscribe to this because I think that's supposed to be my channel. I got Derek as well. Also, please subscribe to my channel, Derek. ASN can dance around with the ball, but he has no other tricks with the ball. No free kicks or long range goals. Now the thing is, right? I mean, I said the other night about Adama Traore, right? For Wolves, right? He's just Olympic sprinter, in my opinion, and he's like Usain Bolt in the cut. Yeah, he's just an Olympic sprinter. Yeah. ASM needs to be careful as well, in my opinion. Sort of, he's going to end up like him, sort of, no final ball. He needs to work on the final ball, Harley, doesn't he? He needs to find the ball, and he needs to, use his brain a wee bit.
Would you say that Traore was worse than ASM?
I take ASM all day long because
Really?
ASM for me, in my opinion, look, he's a decent player. He's quick. He's got pace. Yeah, but for me, I just think he's an Olympic sprinter. Usain Bolt in the cut.
I'd be more inclined to take Traore ahead of ASM.
Yeah, at least fair enough. I mean, how come? Just because he's a better finisher, or
Yeah, I think he's just got more about his game, kind of overall. I think ASM's a bit of a one-trick pony. He's very much, I can do dribbling and fancy tricks, but I don't really make anything of it. Whereas Traore's got a bit more of an end product, I feel like. Of course, he's playing on the better side as well, which does help. But if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably go for Traore.
Fair enough. I'll stick with ASM, but if he works on his finishing, if he works on the final ball, then trust us, he'd be a better player. But he's got a lot of work to do. The guy's 20. Is he 24 now? 24, 25? ASM?
24, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's still got time. But I think he'll come good. But let's hope he does it. And anyhow, the scenes when Chris Wood scores a winner against Burnley in our final game of the season. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, this is something I was talking about to my friend before. Can you imagine if it came down to that game? Because it's the last away game of the season, well, the last game of the season in general, actually. And it could potentially go down to that game to decide who stays up and who goes down. And if Chris Wood scores the winner, I think that would go down in history, really, wouldn't it?
And absolutely. You'd be going to the match, or you'd be going to Burnley. And
yeah, I'm at them all.
I'm at them all. I'll go to the watch along for that game, and I think I'll probably get a fee-figure sum for doing it as well. So, and let's hope so. Keith said, please, with Brewer signing so far, and Andrew as well. I said, Alexander Willock to sullen this punishment.
That's
wouldn't.
harsh.
Very harsh. But I think our marquee signings will be Botman and Carlos. Two centre backs. That'd be a dream centre back. Those two. 200,000 going to charity. Well done to us, our sport. That's brilliant. And going to talk about the Watford game in a second. Wonder who will start in midfield with Shelby and Jordan on Saturday. Who do you think will start?
I don't know if Matty Longstaff's been registered back in the squad yet. Do you know?
Shelby. I've got a feeling that when Faith's going to play wide, it's a hard one, isn't it? I don't think Willock can start though.
If Matty Longstaff's been registered back in the team, because I know he came back from Aberdeen, then I'd like to see Matty Longstaff given that chance. If he's not registered, then I'd probably say Sean Longstaff's likely to play.
Yeah, it's going to be Sean Longstaff all the way, I think. I mean, the thing is to Sean Longstaff, and you said he gives the ball away and he hasn't been that great, but I'd rather have a central midfielder that can actually play in central mid, and Sean Longstaff plays there. That's all we've got, haven't we? You've got to play him, or even Matty Longstaff. But that's the thing, we need or even Joel Linton. Again, if you're going to play 4-4-2, why not play Shelby and Joel Linton in midfield?
That's what he said. He said Shelby, Joel Linton, and who else do you think will be in midfield?
Yeah. Oh, it's got to be Sean Longstaff then, but he needs to fix up though. That's the thing. Wouldn't have him, but it's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, so, definitely.
It's a hard one. John still hasn't made me a mod. I will do soon, mate. Don't worry about that. I think some of these players have lost heart knowing the positions are up for grabs and lost the passion for which should be incentive to try harder. Do you agree with that?
That confuses me though, because if you thought your position was at threat and someone could come in and take your place in the team, then wouldn't you up your work rate and try harder to try and show I should stay in the team rather than just giving up and thinking, oh, well, this player's better, so they're going to take my place? I think that's a totally wrong attitude. And if you do have that type of attitude, then quite frankly, I don't want you anywhere near the football club and I think you should leave.
I agree. I totally agree with you there. Do you know what I mean? Just be positive sort of thing. And it's all about a team, not about you. So it's a hard. Again, you're right, Holly. You're right. I think you should take Andy Carroll. The best 2 offside goals of all time. So, did you see those 2 goals he scored against Fulham?
Yeah, I did.
Wow, what a goal! But on the Fulham's offside, he must be hacked off. Still, they got beat 7-0. Matthew, should we send another striker and we won't be relying on Wood for all the goals? Fair enough. And Holly, I said to Steve years ago, you're made for media work. Get yourself a job on Sky Sports and turn them all black and white.
I wish.
Yay! I tell you, I employ and I employ Maisie as well. I don't think we'll start paying silly wages. Trippier is on more than 100 grand a week. I think it's on 120 grand a week, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't see how much wages he was on.
Yeah, I think he's on 120 grand a week. I know he's the highest paid player in the club.
Yeah, that's not a surprise, to be honest. No. I think you would have had to do that to get him to come from Madrid to here.
Yeah, definitely. Wood's great signing a 4-3-3. John's amazing smile. Thank you so much. Many of our players are all played in. Kraft's on 75 grand a week. I thought he's on 58,000 pound a week. Kraft. For 75 grand, 58 grand, he ain't even worth that at all whatsoever. Sorry. I've been watching Ekatike on YouTube. I've seen similarities with Theory on the looks good. But we got to offer 22.5 million, but they want 25 million. And Newcastle say they don't really want to pay that sort of money, sort of thing, yeah. But Thomas, even John, even Holly, even if you won, hope you're okay. Just pop on quick to like and say hello. Work starting shortly. Nice shift for me. Well, have a fantastic evening, Thomas, mate, and don't get too tough. Joy is definitely worse than ASM. That's a Matthew. And everything saying hi. So Arsenal's got a red card, by the way. I know you got sent off though, but that doesn't look great. AFTV be fun. And yeah, I mean, Charlie goes contribution on much worse than ASM. So yeah, I mean, we can talk about the Watford game if you want as well, and that's the biggest game of the season. And Watford have lost the last 6-7 games. Watford and Randy Evans on the pressure, and Sarr's not playing. By the way, I think he's out injured as well. So how do you think that game's going to go? And who would you pick in your 11?
Many times this season we've said it's a 6-pointer. There's been so many important games that we've played so far, but I think this Watford game really is the make or break game. I think this will decide whether we go on a bit of a run, pick up the points and manage to claw our way to safety, or if we get beat or even draw. I think you'll unfortunately see us, if not go down, certainly hang on till the last game of the season before we make it certain. In terms of prediction, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get the win. I think we're going to get a 0-0. That's my prediction. I said it on the Stephen Holly show as well. Not the most positive, but that is how I feel. I just think we really haven't got it in us to win a game. We're struggling with scoring goals so much. It's a lot to ask Chris Wood on his first game to say, come into the club, score the winner. You know, it's a big, big ask. I think Watford will be solid defensively. They haven't conceded as many as we have. Of course, I think we've got the worst record in the league for goals conceded, which doesn't make good reading whatsoever. I can't see it going in our favour, unfortunately.
Fair enough. I was going to ask you for your prediction at the end of the show, but you've beaten us now.
Sorry.
No, don't apologise. You're being honest. Something I think that's great. And then I've got Gabby's at it again. Say, Booster signed Wood. The fans will be outside St James's protesting. I saw that tweet. And what do you make of that tweet? By Leeds. I think it's a Leeds fan.
Honestly, if Steve Bruce was still here, and I would imagine if Steve Bruce was still here, that would mean Ashley was still here as well, because there was no way he was going to stay long term under new owners. Then I think we would have been happy to bring in anyone, especially a striker. So honestly, I don't think we would. I can understand what they're saying a little bit, because he's kind of like I don't know what the word is, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Chris Wood, but I feel like he's someone that Steve Bruce would typically sign, because he likes kind of those kind of players that are more target men, very kind of, they haven't got a lot about them. They're just, very kind of put the ball in the net, that's your job kind of players. But ultimately, I think any signing under Ashley and Bruce would have been good. So I don't agree with that at all. I think there's a mixed opinion. A lot more people have received Chris Wood better than I think they would have potentially if it did come last season, for example. And I think that's just down to the fact that there's a new air of positivity over the club in general, because you look now, we lose a game, and instead of being, kicking off, arguing on social media, a lot more people are just kind of taking it on the chin and looking ahead to the next game, because we do have a new hope here, even though results aren't going our way at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally agree. But I think it would have been, I don't make any difference with still or not, in my opinion, but it is what it is, man. And then got Foxy as well from Colombia. After EFF1, agree with Holly about the orders and how, but still can have negative opinions about certain aspects of the work they do. I mean, like on Saturday, a lot of people saying that Eddie Howe's got his team selection wrong against Cambridge, which I thought he did, because he played, who did he play now? He kept shot in the back. And I mean, the team like just didn't look well. Matt Ritchie, in my opinion, I mean, whether you like people like him or not, I think he's done. We definitely need a left back there in January, and that's in my opinion. So, and we had Deadwood. Troy hasn't got a goal or assist in the season. He's awful. ASM will improve. Still young. Doesn't trust a poor team, mates. It's greedy. It's a poor mix.
Yeah, I agree.
And also just had someone turn off. Holly, thank you for everything. You did help with the takeover. Yeah, I've got to come on to that as well. I got a big up to you, Holly, right? Two things here. You went to London, right? And you led the campaign. So I've got to clap to you for that. Well done to you, right? And people's giving you a hell of a lot of stick, right? On social media, say that, she's only 16, shouldn't be doing that sort of thing. Yeah, tell them to turn it in. You've done what you think is right. Big up to you. I sent you a tweet about it. And how did you feel after you'd done that campaign? Did it make you a better person? Did it make you feel good? Or
first off, thanks to you, John, and to Carl in the comments for that. It was a collective effort, of course, not just me. The other guys that helped play a part organising it, the likes of John Justice Allen, who helped a lot with kind of the coaches and things like that, and advertisement. Everyone that turned up, we had about 200 to 300 people there in the end, which is fantastic on a work day from Newcastle to London. So everyone played their part. Of course, I was one of the more vocal people on the day. It was fantastic. For me, it was so I had finished my GCSEs at the time. Yeah. So I had a long summer off, nothing to do. And the takeover was going on and on and on at that point. I was getting very frustrated, like everyone. We just came out of lockdown. And from my perspective, I didn't want to sit there and do nothing. Because I thought if the takeover doesn't go through, then I'm just going to sit and regret and think, well, I could have done more. I could have been more vocal. So we planned the protest. We did that. Did I expect us to wake up the next morning the takeover was done as a result of the protest? Clearly not. But I thought what it would do is raise the media coverage, raise the profile of the issue, and just put more pressure onto the Premier League, which I think it did do. And it was a fantastic day. We got our message across very well. Everyone was respectful and polite. No one went too far. And everyone made a big, big impact. It was massive for me as well, because up until that point, I'd done podcasts and stuff. So I started podcasting in February of last year, and I'd never really done anything in person. But on that day, I probably did around 30 interviews, at least, with various media outlets in person. Talk Sport, Politics Joe, ITV Tyne Tees, a few others. Very grateful to everyone that gave us the coverage, and that then allowed me to kind of go on and do more things with in terms of media and different companies, which I've done ever since then. So I'm really, really grateful. It did change sort of my life in a way, certainly opened a few doors for me. And ultimately, eventually, we got the result that we wanted. And that's all I was happy about, that we got the takeover, because I saw an opportunity for Newcastle to have a bright and successful future. I didn't want to sit back and just let that go. So I used my voice and my platform to do as much as I can. And I feel like we did that successfully.
Do you know what it is? I'm so proud of you, Holly. I really am so proud. Big up to you. And, I always knew you'd do good bits as well. And I'll just have to play. So you got to look up to you, and everyone in the chat as well will look up to you as well. I know you spoke to Jim White. No problem. I know you spoke to Jim White. And did you speak to Simon Jordan by any chance?
Yeah, so I did the Jim White and Simon Jordan show on 2 occasions. We did it before the protest and then after the protest. So on the phone, I did a pre-recorded interview twice, and it was always with Jim White, but it was played out on his show with Simon Jordan, and then obviously Simon Jordan responded to it. But I didn't speak to Simon Jordan directly. Although if I ever got the chance, I'd be more than happy to put him in his place, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, good for you, Ollie. Good for you. Even I tell you what, though, I remember that time when Simon and Steve had an argument as well.
Yeah.
I can remember that. For me, a lot of people said that Simon Jordan hadn't. I thought Steve Wade had him by a knockout. He beat him by a knockout. He really did
100%.
that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's all these social media people sort of thing saying, up Steve's ours. I've been on Steve Riff came on my show, right? I think it's back in November time. Hour and 20 minutes on interviews on there, right? And it's just purely about the football. Now, I didn't know what to expect for the comments. And to be fair, the people in the chat in the comments were absolutely fantastic. So big up to each every one of you for making the show great. I've got desperate need a midfielder. If it's Joe Linton, Shelby, and Longstaff, so easy to break it down. And Holly, would you take Tanguy and Ndombele from Tottenham?
Yeah, I would take Ndombele, definitely. I think he would massively improve the side. I'm not sure he would come right now, but maybe in the summer.
Yeah, I probably would in a way as well. But I mean, he's not doing it with Conte, any sort of thing. Roma wants him as well, and Spanish club as well. If I'm a better man, I think go out on loan to Roma. Will someone get Abigail? Nah. You have to be able to back up what you say, and not many of our scholars have done that, to be honest with you. Do you agree with that one? Tools.
What you say in terms of what?
He's saying that you have to be able to back up what you say, not you, but the squad sort of thing. Like, the players come out and say they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and then they just don't back it up.
All right, okay.
Not you. One win this season can beat Cambridge.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't really understand the wording of the question, but yeah, I do agree with him, because I think there's a few players that go and do like the post-match interviews and they say this and that. We need to improve next game. We need to prioritise this. We're going to work on it in training, whatever they say, and then the results don't reflect that. I think it's not the case for everyone, but certainly there is a few players this season that are more talk and they don't actually act on what they're saying.
Exactly. I can name a couple of players on here, but I'm not going to mention them on here. They know who they are. I got Tahedar would be perfect. I think he plays for Leipzig, by the way, if memory serves us right. Even Vilmar Barrios, who plays in Zenit, missing a Toyota type player. They ban him as a Toyota type player. Someone's going to come in and just break the play like a Kante type player sort of thing, yeah?
Yeah, I have heard of him, and I think that potentially could be a good signing. I must admit, I don't know a lot about players that kind of play in different leagues because I usually only watch Premier League football, not so much international football.
Fantastic. I like Coffee. He does first name. Holly will be a brilliant Sky Sports presenter. John too.
You never know one day.
I think you will. I think you'd be brilliant on there. But I'll root for you anyway. And Etiquette looks class for a 90-year-old kid. That's from Matthew. I'll fly through his comments quickly. John and Holly drew a class. Do you agree with that one?
Yeah, I always love doing the podcast with you. It's good.
Thank you very much indeed. Always on the live stream sort of thing. I mean, people are doing 90 live streams a day, but I don't. And I've got John, JK, I call him, indeed trolls. And when you receive the money these players are getting, you expect our players to put in this performance every time. Yeah, I agree. Alex Holly, and that's from me left for a Watford fan. If Newcastle fans hate us, Watford, we do not hate at all. We don't have hate on the show.
I have no idea where that's coming from. I don't think Newcastle fans hate Watford generally. I mean, I certainly don't.
I don't. I think Watford are a decent team. I mean, but they've been poor this season. They've conceded lots of scores, and that's why they're just outside the relegation place. I wonder if Dennis from Watford has a release clause.
I must be honest, I haven't watched a lot of Watford, and I haven't actually seen him really play.
Fair enough. If he does, go and get him. He's decent. Exciting time to Newcastle social media. One live stream ends, and there's another one to join. Love it. That's for forever on. Please subscribe to my channel, mate, because it's your first time. I just got flowers as well. And we've got Musa Sissoko playing, by the way, on Saturday. Remember him?
Yeah, I do remember Sissoko.
He's class, and he's class for us. In some games, he's been good, but other games, he's just been a bit lazy.
Do you know what? I didn't even realise he'd moved to Watford until this season, and then I saw him on the TV. I was watching I watched like the second half of their game a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh my god, Sissoko's playing for them now."
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe they got him for what, 2 million. We fleeced them. We fleeced Spurs for 30 million. You got Daniel Levy, right, kick it off, saying that he don't want to take over. Yeah, he can turn it in an arse sort of thing. And yes, we're the richest club in the world, and people got to get used to it. So, got everyone realistic prediction. Still think we'd take the win. That's against Watford. Hell of a game, everybody. I've got so many comments to go through. It won't be that long now. If I don't read it, I'm sorry about that. If Bruce Sang would, they would play them at left back. That's from Dublin.
Probably.
Steve Bruce chose to get Henrik instead of Wood. I tell you what, I hope our team don't turn to the Burnley man. Henrik in midfield, Wood up front. You never know.
And we were linked with Tarkowski as well.
Did you get Tarkowski as well on the free?
Apparently he's injured. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he is, You could be right. But would I take him personally? I'll probably say no, because you can get better than him. Diego Carlos and Sven Botman all day long. Holly, question for you. Do you think Chris Wood's overrated for the price we've signed him for? You said that, didn't you?
Yeah, 100%. He's not worth 25 million. Although if he keeps us up, my answer may change.
Absolutely. And we've got another 12 minutes to go. And surprised Gabby can talk with his foot in his mouth all the time, because he's basically saying that he just loves putting his foot in, doesn't he, for Newcastle United, doesn't he, every single week, this guy, do you know?
Do you know what? There's a lot of like pundits and journalists and people in the media in general that tend to have an anti-Newcastle agenda on a weekly basis, coming out with ridiculous comments, and I've just literally went through and blocked them all because I'm sick of seeing what they've got to say. And genuinely, my Twitter has been so much more peaceful since I've stopped seeing all the rubbish that these pundits are putting out there.
Aye, unbelievable. I don't blame you, Holly. I really don't blame you at all, because some of them are just absolute arseys, you know what I mean? And I used to love TalkSport, but now they got so many bang average ex-professionals on there. It doesn't know what it's talking about, right? Jamie O'Hara, Gabby Abominable, yeah? Jason Condy to a stretch, yeah? Ray Parler, yeah? Joke. There are a lot of them, yeah?
They just do it for clickbait and bites.
I know, yeah. There's one guy I like, no, I'm not going to lie, it's Trevor Sinclair. I do like Trevor Sinclair. I mean, he's very, very eager. He says nice things about us, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, TalkSport overall, I think it's pretty good. I mean, I've been on there a few times and they've always
Yeah.
treated me well. I think Jim White, a lot of people don't like Jim White, but I think Jim White's always very fair to Newcastle and I do quite like him. I know Simon Jordan can go too far, but I always think Jim White's quite respectful.
Yeah, I like Jim White. I'm not gonna lie. I know people are saying, "Oh, Jim White tells a lot of lies," but listen, at the end of the day, he's a straight percent ass sort of thing. And I've got no problems with Jim White, in my opinion. I'll probably get laughed at, but I've got no problems with Jim. Just got a bit of breaking news quickly. According to Germany, Newcastle wants Haidara, the Leipzig, I was right, midfielder, has an exit clause that could be triggered in the summer for £40 million. That said, if Newcastle are willing to pay anything near that now, Leipzig should take the money now. That is Leipzig midfielder Haidara. And I'll tell you what, apparently, according to the Bundesliga, they think he's the next best thing.
Yeah, I've certainly watched a few clips of him. Not watched a lot of Bundesliga's game, but watched a lot of highlight clips. And from that, he looks very, very talented. Heard good things about him. And I'd love to see him come in. It's a lot of money to spend in January. We have the money available and we need the players massively to help us stay up. So I think if we brought him in, it would make a massive impact. If not now, definitely in the summer. But I'd go all out for it and get him now if we could.
Absolutely. And I don't know really that much of Bundesliga. I'm more in Italian football. So just hope that any Italian market sort of thing, then I can get one. We're after this guy from Torino, Bremer for Torino. And basically that they turned us down, right? But I've heard that 2 Milan clubs are after him as well. So we're going to compete against 2 Milan clubs. Can they pay 40 million? I doubt it very, very much. They haven't got that much money there. I got Mila as well. No release clause available for our best players. We have that lot. I'm not going to read the rest of that. Sorry about that. Not in front of Holly, by the way. Hopefully for a miracle, Tino Wood header and a fika from Kieran Trippier. And Fridays quickly. And so Stevie's for the call. Got Callum Wilson and goal. Thank you very much. Owners have said the team is going for a 2-week training break to Saudi Arabia. If you're playing crap, you're not on this flight. What do you make of that? Oh, the player's going to go to Saudi.
When is this supposed to be at the end of the season?
No, I think it's after Leeds game.
Or like in the international?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good idea. Of course, now that we have the Saudi connections via the owners, then, you know, that's more likely to happen. I can imagine we'll probably do a pre-season there at some point. But I definitely think training camps need to take place for those that aren't on international duty. We do have quite a few players that aren't international players, to be honest, so it should be quite good. Get them prepared for coming back.
Yeah, and we playing against Everton as well. I think we play Everton when we come back after Leeds. We do. So I'm not going to be there because it's a midweek game, and the Villa game, that's on a Sunday. And I'm not sure I'm going to be there for that match as well, neither. So got it.
It's a bit of a nightmare with the fixtures, isn't it?
I know. Excuse me. You're right. I mean, they just don't care, don't they, the Premier League? They don't care at all. But there you go. Well done, Holly. You are a great leader of your community. That's from Mila, and he's a Watford fan.
Thanks, Mila.
And I got agree, Holly. You did a magnificent job. Well done. That's from Keith.
Thank you.
And thank you, Holly, for the hard effort. You and your fellow supporters to help with the take over you have helped massively to get our club back fast and JK.
Oh, thanks, guys. I mean, of course, it wasn't just me. It was so many people, but I really do appreciate the comments.
You're welcome. And I'll tell you what, you're only 16, right? 16. Yeah. And when I first spoke to you, I said 16, didn't I? And I'll tell you what, I said to you from day one when you came on, I said you're going to be the most talented lass on socials. And I was right. So
I don't know about that. There's many people that speak very well about the club, but I certainly try, and I love talking about Newcastle.
Fantastic, and you're always welcome at any time. We've got another 5 minutes to go, so I'm going to fly through this before we get predictions again. Let's all stop caring of what's like talking backside about before has to say about our club and City Newcastle. He knows not about Nout. He's never lived in Newcastle. He doesn't know anything about Newcastle, so he should turn it in. And need to stop playing Lucci at left back, definitely. I've got Derek, so well done, Holly. Love the passion for the tune. That's from Derek. And I'm going to fly through this. Thank you everyone as part of this takeover going through. I've got to say too, well done to you as well, Holly, for making it happen. And Renee, gone if you lose, you like to sack. They sack anyone, don't they? Watford. Good record against us is our turn on Saturday. The last time we played them, I think we beat them 1-0 in the cup. We beat them 1-0 in the cup, didn't we?
Last time we played who, sorry?
Watford, didn't we? Really beat them in the cup, didn't we? We got beat off Watford, didn't we?
Was that in the lockdown season?
Yeah, it was. We got
Honestly, the lockdown seasons are like they never happened in my mind. Like there's like a 2-year gap for me because I just can't remember any of the games. Like for me, I know some people watch Newcastle like only on the TV, they don't go to the games, and I don't know how they remember the games because when I watch something on the telly, it just leaves my head.
Unbelievable, man. I totally agree. Oh no, just go whoosh, like that sort of thing. That was from playing no fans as well, didn't we? Got beat.
Yeah, no, and I think the only reason I remember when I go to games is because like you associate it with like things off the pitch. Like say for example, Sheffield United away, oh that was the time when the bus broke down. Like you know what I mean? That's how my brain works. I associate it with things.
Oh man, what a turn up! It's a madness, though, isn't it? It's such a madness, getting played down before the games and after that sort of thing. So I know exactly what you mean. And hey, let's hope we don't go that lockdown ever again. And Sean thinks I like Simon Jordan. Did I say
I wouldn't say that.
Why? Bloody hell! I tell you what, I'd apply for his job then if he thinks I was
I
like.
certainly don't think that you would be a Newcastle fan if you were like Simon Jordan.
Probably not. But at the end of the day, sort of thing, like he's got his opinion, sort of thing. And I know he's in diversity. I know he's a bit, straight. But listen, you know where you stand with him. But sometimes you believe, sometimes you don't. So there you go. But I wouldn't have Sam Jordan represent Newcastle United. No way. I wouldn't.
No, not at all. I think he'd be upsetting people on a daily basis.
He'd probably upset the fans next. Let's be real. He'd probably ban us. I got Milan Sarr and Daz both injured. So I know Sarr's injured, but I don't know if Dennis can play. Not while they got African Cup of Nations, because he should have been in the plane. And also Niger, really do. I could fly through it very quickly. Matthew, I understand people have the right to criticize Hull and the owners, but we have to put up with actually 14. Yeah, we just need to be patient. Absolutely. Got to be patient. I'll be really nervous in the way end. Tell me where the best shops are to buy food. And I'll leave that one to Holly.
Oh my gosh. I suppose it depends what sort of food you like, really. I mean, you're quite lucky with Newcastle because St. James is in the city centre, so you can go pretty much anywhere, like, Nando's and McDonald's, all the usual restaurants.
Absolutely. And got some lovely places there. They've got some lovely restaurants as well you can enjoy. You got lovely pubs as well with regard to the match. So it's all there. I got Catlin. John couldn't be a Sky Sports centre. Not centres. He's 2 bars towards Man United. Hardly be a percenter though. People are saying I'm a Man United fan, and I'm not a Man United fan. I don't know why.
I've never seen that. I don't know where that's come from.
Why no? I mean, definitely not a United fan. Catlin, Nick, and Holly, you ever thought of being a TV presenter for football? That's from Keith.
I mean, I would love to do that. It's quite a ambitious dream. I think it's fair to say not many people make it in that industry, but if I got an opportunity, then I'd love to do it.
Brilliant stuff. And I think you'll do it anyway. 30 years you'll do it for. Guarantee. I got Paul, my guy, and Holly has a fantastic career ahead of her. Whatever she decides to do, that's from Paul, and we know who Paul is anyway.
Thanks, Paul. Hope you're doing well.
Paul loves us anyway. He does love us, by the way. And just again, hearing that, we inquired about Aaron Hickley for Bologna. What do you think, John? I tell you what, he is really, really good. I mean, listen, he's learned the tactical side of it a lot. He's good going forward, and sometimes his defender's not the greatest, I'm not going to lie, but going forward, I think he's really, really good. Technically, I think he's absolutely brilliant. And, with Sean Dyche over Hull, oh my God, no Connor. No, thank you. No, thank you. I hope you get better, Paul, mate. I really do. John could be the next Mr. Morford exercising Bianca Westwood and Susan Boyle. No, thank you. I love Bianca Westwood, by the way. And I got a donation as well, by the way. If I don't read the comments, I'm sorry. What do you think of best? If it's Chris Smalling, if he's on about that, I mean, will I take him? Probably not. 10, 50 million in that. And hi to Paul. So, what do you think the score's going to be, Holly, on Saturday against Watford? And he said 0-0, didn't he? You going to stick to 0 each, or?
Yeah, I said it on Sunday's show as well. Not the most positive, not what people want to hear, but unfortunately, I can't see Newcastle scoring. And I just can't. I don't think Watford will score either. I think we'll probably do well defensively, but I honestly can't see it within us to win a game.
Yeah. I think I can see goals in this game, Holly. I can see 3-2 to Newcastle.
Really?
I think there'll be goals now. Watford's defense is not good at all whatsoever, and now our defense as well.
Do you
And
think Wood will score?
I think you get one with a header. I think you open his account, and he'll start the game on Saturday as well. He has to start on Saturday because he's got Newcastle up front, haven't we? So let's hope that he starts. I think he'll score. I think Joe Linton will be on the score sheet as well, and I also think I can see Fraser going on one as well. So it's going to be 3-2. So, and I've been a bit brave, am I?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to compare your prediction to the actual result. I can't see however many goals in personally, but I'd love to see that, especially if Joe Linton scored, like you said. I think he's very overdue a goal and deserves one.
Do you know what? I'm beginning to love Joe Linton now because what he has done,
Higher.
he is. I know I've been criticised, crossing him out, yeah, but I love to be proved wrong. I love to have egg in my face, and that's the way, and that's how it is. So he's proved us wrong. He's doing the job. He wasn't great last week. He wasn't poor last week, but hey, his name's on the team sheet every week. I've got final left back and Sensi. I think his cord is linked to, yeah, decent players. Got a mistake in him, but he's pretty good. Foxy playing more. And I've got Tangi, yeah, I've seen it earlier on. 24 defender seems to be playing promising. And I've got, thanks for your donation, Keith, by the way, £8.99 super chat. Thanks so much indeed for that. I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, so before I let you go, and so have you got any more shows to do this week, or?
So tomorrow, I believe it's 7 o'clock. Is it? No, it's 8 o'clock. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I'm live with Bazza at Bazza TZNUFC World of Sport. And we're going to be looking ahead again to the Watford game, a bit like tonight, with a few other people on the show, I believe. And then on Sunday, I have my normal show, which is the Holly and Steve show, which is every Sunday at 6 o'clock on Steve Wraith's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for the rest of the week, John.
Oh, fantastic. No, I haven't been watching your show for a few weeks now. I should be really, but I could, what I'll probably do on Saturday, I'm going to watch you and Steve for the last show. I want to catch us out driving up. Sort of, I'll be listening to that as well because, I do miss watching you and Steve on the show as well. So that's my fault as well. Should have done that, shouldn't I? But there you go. Got BL Duff, so lockdown. We all wish it never happened. Do subscribe, mate. And just going to go through, and that's going to be it because it's now 8:45. So, Holly, thanks so much for coming on. I really do appreciate coming on. And did you enjoy coming on the show?
Yeah, definitely. Love talking about Newcastle, the Watford game coming up. I've enjoyed it.
Brilliant stuff. And we're definitely watch your show tomorrow. I'll do the press conference reaction tomorrow. It's about 7 o'clock. They're going to watch your show, do all the sport as well. And the about rumor to not want to resign with you there. There's another name on the transfer rumor mill. You're not coming to Newcastle. Not a chance. Connor as well. Would you go and talk sport? John, do you think I should go and talk sport, Holly?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you get the chance or if you can call up, it's good to have a bit of a debate. And I think Newcastle fans often get misrepresented on shows like that. So to have a genuine Newcastle fan go on and set the record straight is always good.
Absolutely. I'll probably ring up one day and see if I can go on there, sort of thing. Try and get someone on there to come and be sure, have a chat. I want to get a journalist as well to come on. I spoke to Arne Barton about a month ago, sort of thing. He's a top guy. I love him to bits, man. So there you go. Listen, Holly, thank you very much for coming on anyway. And it's been appreciated because I know you got doing all that sort of thing. But I'm definitely going to watch your show tomorrow with the World of Sport thing and with Bazza. And so we get the 3 points on Saturday. And well, thank you very much for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having us on. Let's hope for 3 points on Saturday.
Sure. And we'll definitely get you back on again. And I'll wear a tune and let's get the 3.
Yeah. Take care, John.
Take care.